Mack Calvin was heart overhyped personified. Even though he had a solid career at USC, he was a very small guard, being generously listed at 6 feet tall and weighing about 165 pounds, so scouts really weren't sold on him as a prospect. After he was selected in the 14th round in 1969 by the Lakers, he decided to try his luck in the ABA, as his college coach would contact the Los Angeles Stars, leading to them drafting him in the 7th round. Mack used his lightning-quick speed and exceptional handle to slice through the defense and get to the rim, hence his nickname, Mack The Knife. He also had an automatic jumper, as he could stop on a dime and pull up from any distance, and he can make any kind of pass to set his teammates up for easy buckets. Once Mack got comfortable, he became one of the top scorers and passers in the league, becoming a 5-time All-Star and a 4-time All-ABA performer during his tenure in the league. But it was a completely different story after the merger, as Mack was dealing with an injury that took away his quickness. Without his best attribute, he wasn't able to find a consistent role on the team, so he would retire in 1981. Mack was able to thrive in the ABA and become a member of the all-time team, but he's pretty much unknown to most of the basketball community, and it's about time he receives his flowers. This is PZ Hoops, and welcome to another episode of ABA Tales. Mack was born on July 27, 1947 in Fort Worth, Texas. After his family moved to Southern California, he spent hours outside working on his game. When he got to Long Beach Poly High School, he only lost one game as a junior, but he went undefeated and won the state championship as a senior. Along with basketball, Mack was a standout shortstop on the baseball diamond, even being drafted by the Dodgers in high school. But Mack decided to go to Long Beach Junior College to figure out what sport he really wanted to do. After 2 years there, he decided that he would pursue basketball, before going to UCLA to go to USC. The Trojans had a decent team, but Mack would become the starting point guard right away. USC started 5-5 in the first 10 games, fresh off a 4-game losing streak, but they picked it up, rattling off 2 6-game winning streaks in the second half of the season to finish 18-8, but they wouldn't make the tournament. Mack averaged 12.5 points and 2.5 rebounds. For his senior season, the Trojans really didn't change that much, but they couldn't replicate the success they had last year, as they went 15-11, with their highlight of the season being a win over UCLA in the season finale, breaking their 58-game home winning streak. Mack was top 20 in scoring, 6th in true shooting percentage, and 8th in free throws, making the All-Pac-8 first team. Mack averaged 12 points and 2.5 rebounds on 49% shooting. Mack knew he was good enough to play pro, but since he was barely 6 feet, the pro scouts really didn't seem that interested in him. The Lakers picked him in the 14th round of the 1969 NBA draft, offering him a tryout and a t-shirt signed by Jerry West. His college coach talked to the Los Angeles Stars and put in a word for Mack, as the Stars would actually take him in the 7th round, offering him a signing bonus. He chose the ABA as they actually offered him a contract. The Stars had some good talent in Wayne Hightower, Willie Wise, and George Stone. Mack put up 16 points and 4 assists in his ABA debut against New York. Over the first 20 games, he was averaging about 12 points. He recorded his first 30-point game on December 30th against Denver. He dropped a season-high 37 points, 8 rebounds, and 9 assists on January 18th against Dallas. He dropped 6 double-doubles, 21 20-point games, and 7 30-point games, as he was already making his mark as a scorer and passer. The Stars had a balanced roster, so they finished 43-41 on the year. Mack averaged 17 points, 3.5 rebounds, and 6 assists, which was 3rd in the league. He made the All-Rookie First Team as the Stars were set to play the Dallas Chaparrals in the semifinals. Mack played amazing in his first playoff series, averaging 31 points, 4 rebounds and 8 assists, including 44 points and 16 assists in Game 4. The Stars won Game 6 by a point to advance to the division finals against Denver. Mack dropped 33 points and 5 assists in Game 1, but the Nuggets would prevail in overtime. But Los Angeles would win their next 4 to make the ABA finals, facing off against the Pacers. Indiana had their number as they jumped out to a 3-1 series lead after a 20-point blowout in Game 4. Mack stepped up in Game 5 with 33 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists on 12 of 22 shooting to help the Stars get the overtime win and force Game 6. Mack put up 19 points and 9 assists in Game 6, but he committed 5 turnovers and shot 7 for 16, as the Pacers won a close game to secure the title. Even though Mack had a great rookie season, he was traded to the Floridians for Donnie Freeman. He formed a potent backcourt with Larry Jones, along with some solid bigs in Ira Harge, Trooper Washington, and Warren Davis. Mack had the green light this season, as he would finally get to show his skills. He averaged 29 points, 3 rebounds, and 5 assists through the first 2 weeks of the season. He dropped 41 20-point games, 25 30-point games, and 4 40-point games. He had 15 double-doubles, including 37 points and a career-high 17 assists on March 28th against Pittsburgh. Mack made his first All-Star game and was selected to the first-team All-ABA. Larry and Mack were one of the hottest backcourts in the league as they combined for over 50 points a game. The Floridians were decent, but outside of their backcourt, they really didn't have any other big scorers, especially after Ira Harge was traded mid-season. For Mack's career year, he averaged 27 points, which was third in the league, 3.5 rebounds, and 7.5 assists, which was second behind Bill Melchionni. The Floridians finished 37-47, facing the Colonels in the semifinals. Mack averaged 27 points in the series, even dropping 34 points, 4 rebounds, and 10 assists in Game 4. But the Colonels will hold Mack to 9 of 21 shooting in Game 6 to win in advance. The Floridians added Warren Jabali and Manny Leaks in the 1971 offseason, but Mack would start off hot again, as in the first 10 games, he dropped 22, 24, 25, 26, 28, 30 twice, 20, 26, and 22. He dropped 29 points, 4 rebounds, and 16 assists on December 16th against Pittsburgh, followed by 32 points, 8 rebounds, and 15 assists on January 2nd against his former team. He had 6 double-doubles as Warren joined him in the All-Star game this year. The Floridians were still pretty average as a team, but their 36-48 record was still enough to clinch a playoff spot. Mack averaged 21 points, 3.5 rebounds, and 6 assists as the Floridians faced the Squires in the division semifinals. Mack was playing pretty good in this series, even dropping 27 points, 5 rebounds, and 8 assists in Game 3. But nobody had an answer for Dr. J, who averaged 38 points, 19 rebounds, and 6.5 assists to sweep the Floridians easy. The Floridians folded after this season, leading to Mack being picked up by the Carolina Cougars in the dispersal draft. Billy Cunningham had just come over from the NBA and he was the leader. Mack was the point guard, as Joe Caldwell, Tom Owens, and Steve Jones rounded out the starting lineup. Mack's minutes went down, but he was still in his all-star form, dropping 32 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists in the 6th game of the season, and 33, 5, and 5 2 weeks later. His assists went down since Caldwell and Cunningham were doing most of the ball handling, but he still recorded 5 or more assists in 26 games. Mack was actually hitting his threes consistently this year, shooting a career-high 39%. He, Caldwell, and Cunningham were all-stars, with Bill winning the MVP. Mack averaged 17.5 points, 2.5 rebounds, and 3.5 assists as the 57-27 Cougars faced the New York Nets in the semifinals. Mack dropped at least 22 points and 5 assists 3 times as Carolina won the series in 5. They faced the Colonels in the division finals as they would jump out to a 3-2 series lead. Mack couldn't get the lid off the basket in Game 5, dropping 14 points and 5 assists, but shooting 4 for 16. He would have a decent Game 7 with 16 points, but Dan Issel dropped 31 and 17 to help Kentucky win. The Cougars moved Ted McClain to the starting lineup, while also acquiring Jim Chones from New York to play center. Mack continued his great play this season, dropping 22 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and 6 steals on October 28th, and 14 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, and 5 steals on January 11th. He dropped a season-high 35 points, 5 rebounds, and 8 assists on February 2nd against New York. Mack made his 4th straight All-Star game, while McClain led the league in steals and joined him. Billy was averaging 20 and 10, so the Cougars finished 47 and 37. Mack averaged 18 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, and 1.5 steals this season, as Carolina had a rematch with the Colonels in the semifinals. Mack led the team in scoring, averaging 24, but they were swept as Artis Gilmore dominated, averaging 30 points, 18 rebounds, and 4.5 blocks. Mack was traded to the Denver Nuggets, who had an elite squad featuring Ralph Simpson, Bobby Jones, Mike Green, and Fatty Taylor. Mack excelled in Denver's fast-paced offense. He dropped a season-high 36 points, along with 6 assists and 6 steals on January 23rd against the Spurs. He put up 19 points and a season-high 16 assists on February 16th against New York. He had a career-high 18 double-doubles, and he led the league in both assists and free throw percentage. Ralph and Mike were all-stars, as Bobby led the league in field goal percentage as a rookie. Mack even finished top 3 in MVP voting, averaging 19.5 points, 3 rebounds, 8 assists, and 2 steals. The Nuggets were rolling, as they finished 65 and 19, facing Utah in the semifinals. Mack dropped 27 in Game 2 and added a double-double in Game 5 to help the Nuggets win the series in 6. The Pacers were next in the division finals, as Indiana would take a 3-2 series lead back to Indiana for the chance to close out. But Mack had other ideas, dropping 21 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and 7 steals to help Denver even the series. Mack had a very forgettable Game 7, going 0 for 9 from the field and only scoring 5 points in a loss for the Nuggets. Mack was on the move again, being traded to the Squires, a team that was on its last legs. This would also be a year that changed his career forever, as he tore his quad in the beginning of the season, as he actually would coach the team for 6 games. They would lose all 6. He wouldn't make his debut as a player until January 15th, but Mack would later say that the team was pressuring him to return too soon. The Squires were 6 and 32 by this point, so Mack was just playing for pride. He got 24 points and 6 assists in the Squires debut, but he shot 7 for 26 and committed 13 turnovers. Even in his shortened season, he was still playing great, recording 22 20-point games and a season-high 35 points, 6 assists, and 6 steals on February 22nd. He dropped 4 double-doubles and had the highest free throw percentage in the league for the second straight year. The ABA was pretty much bankrupt, as several players were complaining about their game checks bouncing. The Squires finished 15-68, as Mack averaged 19.5 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists, and 1.5 steals. After the merger, Mack wasn't selected in the dispersal draft, but he signed with the Lakers in 1976, but he would soon be traded to San Antonio and then back to Denver to finish the season. Mack was still dealing with the after effects of the injury, as he wasn't as quick as he used to be. He would get inconsistent minutes, but he found ways to contribute, dropping 24-7 on November 27th and 26-10 on February 19th. David Thompson and Dan Issel combined for 48 points a game to help the Nuggets finish 50-32. Mack averaged 9.5 points, 1.5 rebounds, and 3 assists, as he would get decent playing time in their semifinal series against Portland, even dropping 28 points on 8 of 10 shooting in Game 4, but the Nuggets would lose this series in 6. Denver added more point guards in 1977, so Mack was buried on the bench. He only got about 12 minutes a game, but he still played well in limited time, putting up a season-high 20 points, along with 2 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals on February 1st against Philly, then 18 points, 2 rebounds, 6 assists, and 4 steals the next game against Detroit. Denver would be good as long as they had their star duo, as they finished with a 48-34 record. Mack averaged 6 points, 1 rebound, and 2 assists. He barely played in the playoffs, only scoring in double figures once, as the Nuggets lost to the Sonics in 6 games. Mack and Denver coach Larry Brown had issues that couldn't be resolved, as Mack sat out the entire 1978 season. He would sign with the Jazz in 1979, as they moved to Utah from New Orleans. Pete Maravich was still struggling with injuries, so Adrian Dantley, Terry Furlow, and Ron Boone were the main contributors. Mack was buried on the bench again, only appearing in 48 games. In limited minutes, he dropped double figures 13 times, with the season high being 17 points and 4 assists on March 29th against Chicago. Utah had the worst offense in the league, and without a healthy Maravich, they were doomed, so they finished 24-58. Mack averaged 6.5 points, 2 rebounds, and 3 assists. Mack was a free agent again in 1981, signing with the Cavs on December 19th. Cleveland was a bad team as well, but they had a promising forward in Mike Mitchell. Mack only got about 6 minutes a game, with his best performance being a 6-point, 4 rebound, and 1 steal game on January 24th against Detroit. The Cavs ranked near the bottom in both offense and defense, finishing 28-54. Mack averaged 2.5 points, a half a rebound, and 1.5 assists, as this would be his last season as a pro athlete. Mack would retire, and he would mostly do community work and high school coaching before becoming an assistant with the Bucks and Clippers, even becoming the interim head coach for 2 games in 1992. Mack Calvin went from a 14th round pick to having one of the best ABA careers ever. He ranks 8th in points, 2nd in assists, and 14th in steals, as he was honored in 1997 by being a part of the ABA all-time team. Mack modeled his game after the dominant small guards of the era, like Nate Archibald and Calvin Murphy, as he was able to carve out a great career. Mack has been campaigning to get in the Hall of Fame for years, but his chances to go in decreased a lot after the NBA got rid of the ABA Special Committee in 2015. But he still holds out hope that he'll be inducted one day. Thank you guys for watching, really appreciate y'all. When I was doing my research for, I think, the Warren Jabali video, I kept seeing Mack Calvin, I kept seeing the guard, I kept seeing him in all the top of the stats. Like every time I would keep seeing him, and he's always averaging like 20 points a game, 25 points a game. So like I look at his tape and I'm like, this dude is nice. Like even though he's like probably 5'10", he's still getting to his spots. He's fast, he's slicing through the defense. He's taking the contested mid-ranges. He's got the floater game, he can pass, he can do everything. Like, so it's like, it's always good discovering lesser known players that are really good. For me personally, I hope he gets in the Hall of Fame. But it seems like they really don't consider ABA players like that. I don't know what it is, because it's a lot of ABA players that were really nice, but they're not really in consideration. You know, like it seems like you have to have at least played meaningful minutes in the NBA for them to even consider it. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you guys for all the support. Leave a like if you enjoyed, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Turn my post notifications on, but please be safe, stay on the grind. Have a great day. I'm out. Peace.